Hey, everybody. It's getting chilly out. And today, I'm at my old high school where I used to play in the band. And I don't know if I did that much extracurricular activities besides that, besides trying to pick up chicks and, playing pranks and trying to be class clown. Other than that, and being like in art classes, I didn't really do like the Letterman thing or anything like that. Or I was kind of a bit of a loner. Anyhow, this building right here, this corner building, is where my band classes were. I took concert band all through junior high school and high school, and then marching band was in this corner building right here. This is like right where I used to hang out because I think marching band was the last class of the year, so we'd hang out on this balcony area. I don't know if you call it balcony, whatever you call this covered area, And I think they've changed the what building. It's like an office building now, but this is where the band used to play. It's just in this building right here. And so there was a lot of benches out in this area out here. So people would wait for their parents out here. And there's also this massive staircase that goes down about, 30 feet from the school. So some people used to hang out here, And for some reason, I think at that time I was playing tennis in PE or whatever. I had tennis because they had tennis courts. So I had a tennis ball and a racket. And sometimes I would sit up and hit against this wall over here. There's like kind of a big wall there. And it was big enough you could hit tennis balls, I guess. So I used to wait for my mom here because she would come pick me up in this parking lot. And we would goof around. And so the day that I almost got massacred was right out here. So you see this flagpole here. This has been here for 80 million years. Probably forever. Probably since the school was built, there was this, I don't know what this concrete thing is, but it's got the flag on there. Well, at the time this happened, there was a flagpole here. It almost seems like they moved it, but then I can't rely on my memory because it's been so long, decades since I went to the school. But anyway, there was a pole here, and there was a cable that went off the pole. It's like right now there's a flag, but at the time there was no flag for some reason. So there was a cable that hung off of this pole, and what people used to like to do is they would stand up here on the stairs, and you could actually pick the cable up with your hand, and you could swing like Tarzan off of this thing, and you could swing around this thing like to the other side. People would try to swing from one side of these stairs over around that concrete thing. I have to look at some old pictures to see if that's the same, but I think it's the same pretty much. And to get over the other side. So people used to do that. So here's what happened. A little bit of backstory. There was a guy swinging on this pole, and it was somebody I knew from band. His name was Todd. And he was known as a guy that would beat people up. He was like a bully, and coincidentally, he was my best friend's stepbrother, I guess, because his dad married her mom, his mom, the other kid Todd's mom. So that's a little bit of backstory to give you and so I would hear things from my friend Chris, who would say that, he got suspended because he got in a fight with this kid, or he got suspended, or I almost think that he got kicked out of school at one point. What do they call that? You get kicked out of one school, then you go to another school. Like he was at McIntosh and he got kicked out of that school, suspended or, kicked out for fighting. So before all this stuff happened, I had it in my head that I knew this guy was a little bit nuts, because I think my friend told me that he had like mental counseling or had to go to a psychiatrist because of the things that would happen. Because like I said, it was his dad's wife's son. And I already knew not to mess with this guy. And I think maybe I had seen him fighting once or twice. But anyway, I was in 9th grade. So picture me even skinnier and smaller than I am now. And, kind of wimpy looking because I was always skinny. Strong but skinny, I would say. I was working out and stuff like that, and I was playing baseball at the time, and I was very fast and fit, but as far as fighting came, I wasn't really a fighter. So here's what happened. So the guy, Todd, is on this cable swinging around, and my friend and I had tennis balls, and like I said, we were waiting for my mom to pick me up from school. So we were just throwing the tennis ball back, because I think we had to wait like a half an hour to 45 minutes for my mom to come pick me up from school, which is insane because I could have probably walked home in 15 minutes. So we're like right here throwing a ball back and forth. And it was pretty much exactly like this. So I'm here, my friend's over by the steps. For some reason we were throwing to the steps over here. And unbeknownst to me, the guy was getting ready to swing off this pole on the other side where I couldn't see him. So that's the thing that started this whole thing. So I throw the ball, he comes swinging out on the thing, and I nail him like right in the stomach. Granted, I didn't throw, it wasn't a hard throw, it was just the fact that I threw it at him. And I'll tell you what, I can never forget the look on his face after he let go of the thing and landed. It was just like a bull at a, what do they call those things? A rodeo or whatever they call those, bullfight. His eyes were just locked on me, and it was almost no hesitation that he came running at me from here by this white thing. Came running at me, and this would have been my expression, would have been like, and by just reflex, I saw this guy come running at me, and I knew who he was. I just took off running. So I'm like just running top speed, and I think I probably looked behind me a couple times, like so, to see if he was still coming. But This is the scenario of like when, let's say, like a bear or something is chasing you, or some large animal is chasing you, and there's no hesitation. You just start running. What is on my camera? Yeah, thought that was in the shot there. You're just running. So I'm running down this sidewalk as fast as I can. Like I said, it was an initial, just immediate adrenaline surge. So I'm running down all the way down here. And I don't even know if I checked to see if he was coming. All I could think in my head, like I said, I was just reacting, was run as fast as you can away from this threat. Because this guy was probably 30 pounds heavier than me, and probably about, 6'1", something like that, 6 foot. And my brain told me this isn't a fight that we can win, so I'm just gonna run. So I ran all the way over. I think there was a fence right here by this sidewalk. I probably cleared this fence in about 2 steps, like 1, 2 and over. It was probably like a 6 foot, 7 foot fence. And as far as I remember, this is like the math wing over here. I ran over to this part of the school, which was like just another part of the school. There's a fence there, but I think the fence used to be there at the time. And I ran around and I jumped that fence. When I jumped the fence and looked behind me, I didn't see him anymore. So there was a fence separating us, and he didn't say anything. I don't think, like, I'm gonna kick your ass, or I don't remember him saying anything like that. Or I'll kick your ass tomorrow. So the school is pretty big. So I ended up, I think, walking around the school. And I might have walked home. I don't remember exactly what happened to that. But after something like that happens, and the adrenaline starts draining out of your brain, you start thinking, now what do I do? He's just gonna come the next day, come looking for me, and he's gonna kick my ass after school, that type of thing. So I'm like trying to figure, and I go home, and I don't think I told my parents at all. my dad was not very helpful as opposed to giving advice about fighting, And I don't remember that part crystal clear or not. I might have came home and said, this kid, I hit him with the tennis ball by accident, but then he ran me down, tried to run me down. And so the next day, I believe I went to the principal's office or whatever, or the vice principal or whoever handles that kind of stuff. And I think I was pretty shaken up because I knew this guy from being in band class this year, and I knew that there was something crazy about him. So it wasn't like I could go up to him and go, "Hey dude, I'm sorry." I didn't think there was any possibility of that. I'm getting a weird echo in here. In this little, what do you call this thing? This little shelter. It's a weird echo. I don't know if you can hear it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's weirding me out. Yeah, so I think this guy's name was Mr. Petrella, and I went to him and I said, I accidentally hit this guy with his tennis ball. It wasn't on purpose. I think he's going to come looking for me, and I need you to do something about it because I don't want to have any heat with this guy. So I don't know if it was the same day or the next day after that I had band classes with this guy, but I didn't sit next to him. He was like a couple rows over, and I was wondering what was going to happen after class. He was going to come after me or something. It was one of those things you'd rather just get it over with rather than having to think about it, have the anxiety of thinking about, is this guy going to sneak up on me and sucker punch me in the back of the head, or is he going to come after me when I'm, because I don't know if it was before or after I saw him punch somebody right over there on the other side of this building, punch somebody in the face. I think it was after. And I actually heard the punch. It sounded like a slap. Just like when you hear somebody get hit, it's more like slapping meat than it is like in the Rocky movies where you hear like a or a it's more like a I think when people get hit. And I actually saw that happen. Like I said, I think this guy was a little unstable. So anyway, a day or two later, he came up to me and I kind of like stepped back from him. He goes, "Dude, don't worry about it, man. I'm not going to mess with you or anything." And they go, "Okay, cool." And I might have shook hands with him. So apparently Mr. Petrella or whatever, Vice Principal Petrella, talked to the guy. But that was one of the few times in school that I was ever worried about getting my ass kicked. Like I said, this guy was probably 30 pounds bigger. I was probably 5'6", 125 pounds or something like that. I was 15, I think, something like that. Maybe even smaller, maybe 120 pounds. I was a little small guy. And I didn't really have any, at the time, I don't think I knew what to do because I never really had an issue where I was somebody was gonna I'm gonna kick your ass after school. I had a couple pushing fights that I'd covered here before with, it was actually a girl, believe it or not, where she hit me in the face with an umbrella. Another time a kid slapped me because I said something in class, and to save face, I never said anything. He didn't say he was going to kick my ass. It was just one of those things that just happens. But I wasn't really a fighter, and I didn't want to fight anybody, and I never really had any issues with... I just noticed this sign up here. It says, "Keep 6 feet apart." But it's pretty cool because this building has probably been like this since the 50s or whenever this part of the school was built. It was built in two parts. There was an older building in the front, and then this building, and they refurbished this whole building. So it's pretty much almost exactly the way it was when I went here, which is kind of cool. It's kind of fun to come out here and just remember some old stories and stuff like that. And I probably have more stories. I have to come up with another story about that. But the fighting stories, I think, always seem to be the most interesting because they just are. I could tell you about the day my friend lent me his calculator at math class up at this building right here. Jim Keene. I don't know how I remember people's names from high school, but I think because I was going through my high school yearbook and I remember all the math classes were all in this building over here. But anyway, it was a pretty good. It was a funny story in my mind, just because, like I said, I didn't really usually get picked on, just a little bit here and there, and like I said, I was always small in school, so I was always like fodder for people trying to. But it's pretty amazing that, like I said, this part of the school is almost exactly the same. I think they've done some renovations in here and changed some things, but like I said, this used to be the band building. Those buildings weren't there. Those are newer office buildings. But it's kind of cool to come out here and just reminisce. The one thing I never understood about the way this was built is there's like a level area here that nobody ever went into for some reason. That's one strange thing about the way this was built by some famous architect, because you could see how it's got all these weird like concrete things hanging for no reason. It doesn't apparently have any function to these metal things or concrete things. I don't know if you can see this. Can you see these? These concrete things, they're just like hanging concrete things, which I never understood. And then this thing was just like a little covered area. And what we used to do, this is what we used to do. Even when I didn't go to school here, we used to do this. It's funny because they didn't have a fence here. And you used to be able to just walk on top of this concrete thing and walk up these steps. We used to do that all the time. The steps didn't really go anywhere, but just, for fun, we used to do that. They have bars here, but you could literally just walk up this thing and walk up those roof tiers. And they, like I said, they didn't go anywhere, but it's just kind of funny. And the school used to be all open. We used to skip school I used to skip school all the time, because you could just, when my car was parked out here later on, just jump in your car and leave. I mean, those are like the fun times. And now it's like most of this place is fenced off, so you can't just walk right off campus. But skipping was always the funnest. Fun. Whoops. I almost dropped you there. Is it still rolling? Anyway, good times. I think I might try to come up with some more stories about school. Unfortunately, this is like one of the few areas you can actually get on campus to shoot anything, because like I said, there's like fences everywhere and stuff. But if you enjoyed this story and you liked it, share it on Facebook or something, or Instagram or something like that, or slap a like on there. Plus, I have a second channel if you don't know about that. And I also have merchandise that I sometimes put in the links and sometimes I don't. You can look at the last video that I put up. It has merch links for t-shirts and stuff like that. So anyway, this was a lot funner than I thought. I've contemplated doing this for like 2 years. And today I finally did it. Look at the fact how the flag is flying. So nice up there today. It's a nice sunny day. Nice cool in the 70s. Anyway, thank you guys a lot for watching this and sharing some old memories from the old days. And like I said, I have a second channel, Mr. John Swift DIY. I always say DUI, but it's do it yourself. So go over there and subscribe to that for different types of making content. Anyway, also keep 6 feet apart as much as possible. I hope you guys are doing good. The holidays are coming up. It's going to be Thanksgiving pretty soon. And you know how that goes. Family visiting and fighting with your family. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching this video. I appreciate it. Leave a comment if you have any questions about what transpired at this very location many, many decades ago. We'll see you later. Have a great day.